Hello and welcome to our podcast, Body Talk Fit. I am your host and owner of Body Talk Fit, Noelle.
And I'm your co-host, Diane.
I do want to tell you what Body Talk Fit is.
Body Talk Fit is designed to help the woman enhance her sensual inner and outer self through dance. Body Talk Fit helps boost self-confidence by building appreciation and awareness of your body and how to move it.
This is a fun fitness dance class that will have your booty shaking, your hips swaying, your neck rolling, your confidence boosted, your body glistening from sweat, and your walk more sexy than when you walked in. Hello, and hello.
Hi.
Hey, Miss Diane is now in front of the camera, and she's been in front of the camera for the last two shows.
I know.
Okay,
What is this life?
Man, okay. Y'all know she's more behind the scenes. I'm Noelle, your host, and this is what?
I'm Dirty Diane.
Dirty Diane, your co-host. And today our topic is
The impact of social media.
the impact of social media. So I am a Generation X, and Miss Diane is a millennial.
Mhm.
Millennial,
I'm
okay.
an older millennial, so there's differences.
Oh, shoot. So we're going to talk about the difference of me as a Generation X not having social media back in our day, and now, you know, Miss Dirty Diane having the social media and everything and all of the platforms and all of and everything that just happens in life with younger kids, because there's advantages and disadvantages of social media, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about all of this in our hour session. But you can catch us every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And we have different topics every time. We have different guests. We was actually supposed to have a guest today, but we had to shift this and switch this topic because an emergency arose with that guest. So so last week we talked about the life of an entrepreneur, and that's what, and we were talking about, we were like, okay, hold on, since we had to switch this up, like within the last 10 minutes, I was, my anxiety was on level 100, okay? And she's like, oh shoot, I'm sure she was like, shoot, what are we gonna do? I'm like, okay, help us pick out a topic, and what are we gonna talk about, right? Just referring back to last week, the life of an entrepreneur, that's what you have to sometimes do, shift.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We shifted into, hey, what we're going to talk about right now. Okay. So we made a quick shift. We're going to talk about social media, the impact of social media, and the advantages and disadvantages of social media, and the different, the baby boomers. Hold on. What you got? The baby boomers, the Generation X, the millennials. What's all the,
because I was like, I feel like the generation before me was like Generation Z or something, right? I might be making these up.
Yeah. So I'm not good with that. I'm good with astrology, but not this generation stuff.
That could be a topic next time.
We can. It could be.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. I forgot my laptop at home, y'all, so I'm writing on a piece of paper. See, this is what Generation X do, okay? We wrote on pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Okay, now what y'all do? Text?
It's on my phone. Everything's on my phone.
No, we wrote on a piece of paper like the other day.
Actually, whenever we first met, that was our personality. Was she would write everything on a notebook, and then I would have my phone and I'd put it in the notes section of my phone.
I'm like, what are you doing? She was like, no, I have to keep notes. I'm like, this is my notes right here. Okay, I got a whole calendar.
Yeah.
I got a whole still calendar that I write in.
I was like, that's too much, because I don't carry purses or anything, so it's just all in my phone. I was like, I don't have time to look at a calendar plus a notebook.
She don't. I'll be like, where your purse at? I'll be having a whole calendar book, girl. Okay, hold on. What's our schedule today? Okay. And she was over there in the corner just typing up. I'm like, oh, okay. That's what y'all little young girls, that's what y'all younger people do, huh? Right?
But it's so funny too, because then like people my generation, like everything is on my phone. So I like text, notes, email, everything is on there. But then I think older generations look at us and think we're playing on our phone. I was like, no, I'm working business right now.
Yeah, she does. So, okay. So Oh, as far as business cards, so I don't think people carry business cards no more, right? So I haven't ordered business cards in a year. I probably still have some, but I don't know where they are. I'm like, people throw away business cards. So I have like a QR code like thing. Do you have one on your phone?
I don't have one, but I was creating one because that's what a lot of people, and that's a funny topic because I was gonna do QR codes because same thing you said. It's like most people just like throw it away or lose it.
Right.
But then I also do still carry physical business cards for older generations because I had a man ask me that. He was like, "Do you have a business card?" And I was like, "Oh, you can tap this, and then it will give you my social media." And he was like, "No, I don't do all of that." He was like, "I'm
old school.
Yeah, that's what he was like. I'm old school. He was like, "I want a business card to put in my wallet," and I was like,
"Okay." What are the chances of you losing that business card? What are the chances of, I don't know, So this girl, like the other night, Friday night, I went somewhere with a girlfriend, right? And a couple of girls came up to us and I told her, I was like, "Hey, I own a dance studio. You should come to my dance studio." Because she was up dancing. I hadn't recognized her, right? So most people I recognize, that's come to my class before, but I hadn't recognized her. So I was like, "Hey, you love to dance. So I think you need to come to my dance studio." So she was like, "You got a card?" And she was about my age. I was like, "Girl, no." I said, "Who carry cards now?" So I got out a piece of paper from my purse and wrote it because she didn't have a social media. She did not have Instagram. She didn't have Facebook. I was like, "Okay, you really old school." So, girlfriend, I wrote down my name, my number, my address, and I said, my email, because older people, Generation X like to email too, right? So I wrote down my email. I said, "Call me, email me, text me, do whatever." She was like, "I will." And I received a text from her yesterday. It was so funny. I was like, "Don't you lose this piece of paper, okay?" She was like, "Girl, I ain't gonna lose it. But it's funny that we talking about that because the difference is, hey, like I said, I have business cards. I don't know where they are. I probably need to find them, right? They're probably in my office somewhere, okay? And just keep them in my because even when they scan, I don't know, you scan it and save it. But I've had so many people say, "Ooh, I don't even remember what your name was, but I've seen you and I know I've scanned your information, but I couldn't remember what your name was." So maybe say, "Hey, Dance Noel," or I don't know, I need to put some, something in there so they can remember me by, right? Yeah. But you should remember me anyway. You know what I'm saying? What's hard to remember this? Noel, okay? So we are going to talk about, again, the advantages and disadvantages of social media. So I have kids. Diane doesn't, but Diane has nieces and nephews, right?
Yeah.
So my kids I have two boys, 24 and 16. So we're first going to start off talking about, when I allow them to have social media, and do you know when their parents allow them to have social media and what platforms they have?
Yeah, it's in different stuff. Different parents allow different things.
Yeah,
but most of it, because most of my actual nieces are the ones that use it, and they're I believe they're 7 and 8.
They be doing that TikTok stuff.
They're like,
now 7, you had one in here.
Yeah, that's the 8-year-old. That's Ariana. Okay. So yeah,
that was her assistant one day. She came in here, honey. She helped her teach a class. It was so cute. It was so cute, and she had a little rhythm, honey. She was moving on that floor.
She put me in check, whatever, because my memory is really bad. And I was like, "Oh, what was the next one?" She's like, "Auntie, 7 and 8 is like this."
She did. She really did. Oh my God, so cute. And I even put her on an Instagram post one time. So if you scroll through my Instagram post, you'll see her niece on there.
Yeah. But then I have my cousins' kids. They range from, I believe, 6 to 15, 16. But they call me auntie, but technically we're cousins.
Auntie. You said auntie?
Auntie.
And auntie.
Mm-hmm.
It's auntie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's auntie.
Auntie. What is auntie?
Auntie Diane.
Okay. What do y'all nieces and nephews call you? If you're female, auntie, auntie, aunt.
Yeah.
Mine call me auntie. Auntie Noel, not auntie. I mean, that's the difference between you and I.
Yeah. An auntie and an auntie.
Auntie. Okay, I ain't never heard it referred to as auntie. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so my oldest son is 24. Okay, he's graduating from OU this year. Whoop, 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 whoop. Finally, that boy. Woo, Lord, child. I'm so proud of him, though. He's been going for about 5 years, honey. He done changed his major 3 times, honey, but he coming out strong with 2 majors. Won't he do it? Okay. Actually, that's next December. Oh, it's coming up.
It's gonna come around the corner because this October went by real fast.
It sure did. Oh my good Lord. Okay, I'm just so proud of him though. So talking about cell phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got him a prepaid. What's the prepaid back then?
Like Nokia stuff or
no? It was started with a T.
Oh, T-Mobile?
No, girl, that wasn't prepaid back in the day. Y'all know you could buy this little flip phone. It was
I was like, well, prepaid back then you had to have the calling card type stuff.
I ain't that old, okay.
Yeah, we were that old because I was that old when you had to call long distance with the calling card. You know what I mean?
Right. So I bought him this flip phone, and I would put prepaid minutes on it because back in the day, he's 24 years old. So I didn't allow him to have social. I don't even think social media was around when he was, growing up until he got to about middle school. But anyway, so he was mad at me for years because the first phone that my youngest son got was an iPhone. So he said, how you gonna get him an iPhone and give me a flip phone with prepaid minutes? I said, dude, that was the era. You know what I'm saying? I said, you're a little bit older, so you didn't need no iPhone. How long iPhone been out?
I don't even. I'm Android, so I don't even know.
Oh shoot, you are Android. And I got an iPhone 8, baby, y'all. I still got the touch button in the middle, honey.
I was like, no, that's smart because I came from the generation where computers just started coming. So I grew up with technology, like while it was advancing and it was available to the public. So whenever I had a cell phone, it was like part of my parents' plan and all that stuff. And that was when text messages was like 10 cents per text.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't think about, and then you had to wait till like 7 p.m. to get your free minutes to call anybody.
Right.
So my cousin,
Nights and weekends.
So my cousin, it was funny because that's when parents started getting the phone because that was when you could only make one call per your, landline, or if you're trying to get on the internet, like then you couldn't call anyone. So no emergency calls could come in and stuff. So, that was why like a lot of us would get cell phones. It was like supposed to be for emergencies, but as kids, you don't think about emergencies. You just call each other when you can. And my cousin, I think she like racked up $500 to $1,000 one month because of like she would call before the free minutes were available and before like she would just text us, not calculating like how much each text was because I believe we were in like high school, middle school, high school, whenever that first started.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. So my youngest son, my oldest son, I can't remember when I allowed him to have social media. I think it was like, he may have been in the middle school. I don't know. But it wasn't a really big deal for him, right? So when my youngest son got a phone, oh gosh, I'm trying to think. I think we got one for his birthday. Maybe when he was 8 or 9. And of course he wanted to set up what we got now? TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. What else is there out there? Because back then it was MySpace.
Yeah.
I didn't even never had a MySpace account. Did you have a MySpace account? I never had a MySpace account.
So that's what, for me, like I said, I grew up whenever all the social media, or not social media, but just like internet in general was coming out to the public and people started having like their big clunky PCs at home and stuff and using landline to try to get on the internet. So very first for me was like AOL Instant Messenger going on those website, like chats.
You did that?
Yeah.
You had AOL dial-up, girl?
So it was one of those where you just go into random group chats and just ASL
Oh my
your
goodness.
age, sex, location, because you didn't know who you were talking to on the internet. You would just go into some random web chat thing that sounds interesting and just like y'all randomly, a whole bunch of strangers just saying random things on one page. And then if you want to talk directly, then you would give each other your email addresses and email each other.
Oh,
And then,
wow.
but yeah, it was like, but then it became, what you call it? What was that? It was like more of online journals, like Zynga and stuff, where you would put your journal, like kind of a diary, day-to-day thing with
I
how,
don't know Zynga.
yeah, Zynga. Mhm.
I ain't heard of that.
Yeah, so that was before MySpace. So that's how y'all would
Oh, girl, I ain't do
read
that.
up on each other's lives with sending,
Oh, I didn't do that.
and y'all were, yeah, you would add your friends and stuff on there, and that's how, that was like our post was our daily diary entry basically, and you read about people's life and you can like comment on there. And then from there was when MySpace was like the first big social media for like teenagers, and you can write on each other's bulletin boards and share music, and that was when y'all could exchange, like update your profile pictures whenever you want to, or put music in the background.
My mother didn't have a computer when
Mhm.
we were growing up at the
Yeah.
house. Yeah. So if I wanted to, I had to do anything on the computer, I had to do it at school.
Mhm.
Like before my mother didn't have a computer. I don't remember. Like maybe the last year in high school, maybe she had a computer.
Mhm.
But I remember when I moved out, I bought me a computer, then one of them bulky,
Yeah.
them monitors,
Mhm.
honey, because we got flat
That take up
monitors
the
now.
whole, it's
Baby,
probably
take up the
wider
whole
than this
desk, okay? And I remember, like, because I had my oldest son early at 20. I remember having a dial-up, and it was dialing up to AOL.
That-
Yeah.
the whole
I don't
neighborhood could
think you
hear
can
it.
even mute that thing. That shit was so damn loud. I was like, Lord,
The whole
child.
house knew when you were online.
Right, that part. Your neighbors.
Yeah.
If you live in an apartment, your neighbors knew you was getting online. I'm just noticing this microphone.
Mhm.
Did you have it last time?
I didn't have it last time. I'm
You
used
just bought
like,
it?
no, I've had it before. I think the first time we ever
Oh, I didn't
used it with
notice
the camera.
So you think the microphone quality is better when you put that on? Okay, y'all,
Yeah.
I'm on a different subject. Okay, I'm sorry. I done seen the microphone up here.
Yeah, it just kind of narrows it, and I think that helps with like I think the sound balance and stuff.
Oh, she's technical, right? She come in and she's production. She's the whole production team, okay, and the co-host, okay. She come in and put up her lights and then put up the camera. And she got a laptop right here. Sometimes the camera don't work. We gotta go to the laptop, and
We've got to
switch off.
shift and pivot.
Hey, shift and pivot. Sometimes life calls for a shift and a pivot, okay? So back to this social media. So youngest son got social media around 8 or 9 years old. I know now he's 16. He on that Snapchat. Well, he didn't. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back. My baby didn't created his own clothing line.
Ooh, okay. Mhm.
He created his own clothing line. And maybe I'll have him on the pod. He's so shy though. He don't like to be in front of people.
Does he have a website?
He does. I don't know if he wants me to announce it yet. Though,
Okay.
So, but he been selling stuff, y'all. And I told him, I said, by the time you graduate high school, he in the 11th grade now. I said, by the time you graduate high school, because I'll be pumping him up, I said, baby, you're gonna be a millionaire, I said, but you got to do it right. Sometimes he listens, sometimes he don't. He really don't listen, but sometimes it seems like he not listening, but he'll do what I suggested to him, right? But anyway, he has created his own clothing line last year. So he's like, and I even asked him, I said, son, can you like, I have a TikTok, but is it TikTok I got? See, I don't even know. Y'all know I got Instagram and Facebook. So I'm like heavily active on those two. Oh no, this is TikTok. I have a TikTok. I don't know how to build my followers. And I asked him, I said, son, if I pay you, will you manage my TikTok? He was like, no. I'm like, what, dude? I'm trying to pay you. I guess he don't want to see me dancing like that or anybody dancing like that. I don't know. But I'm like, okay. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to pay you to manage my TikTok, because he didn't grow on his TikTok. And I'm like, dude, do mine. He was like, no, mom, I'm not doing it.
He's
I'm
like, Mom, I don't want you on TikTok.
Yeah, I got like 300 followers on TikTok, and I'll be posting the hashtag and
He's using parental control on you now.
That part. What? Okay. So as a Generation X, I haven't figured out how to hashtag on TikTok, how to like my followers on Facebook and Instagram is good. Of course, Instagram can be more, but it's growing. Like I've had like 50 new followers within the past 4 days, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But TikTok, I don't know how to get it popping. You know, I don't know how to build, even though I'm hashtagging. People say, okay, hashtag. You know, you got to watch videos on how to build your social media. It's a lot to do. Yeah, it's like a second job.
It is. And that's why now there are like social media managers, because it is a job within itself.
It is.
Like you have to have a research team, because like the algorithm and all of that changes all the time. So you have to see like what's trending, all of this stuff, but you can't do that plus be a creative and try to do the business part. It's like a whole team that has to go into what you do.
Hold on. And then you got to figure out what's the right time to post. Then you got to figure out what's the hashtag you hashtag to post this certain video. Then you got to find out, okay, how many seconds should you create a video for? I try to keep it to 30 seconds because people get disengaged, right? So what do you do when you post a video? Do you post like 30 seconds to?
Yeah, not even. Like for me, 30 seconds is long
for
social media. Yeah,
girl, I be posting a whole minute, girl.
So because that's what social media now. Well, because that's what it used to be, right? It was like 30 seconds to a minute, and then now they're saying between like 5 seconds to 10 seconds, because then that should be like an ad to get someone's attention, to get them to click to go to your website or your YouTube or whatever and watch the longer.
On this. Y'all better listen.
Yeah, and
you
watch
said 5
the longer
seconds or 10 seconds?
Yeah, and it has to be like something that catches their attention, that makes them want more, so that they go look for your like website or your YouTube or whatever to watch the longer videos on there. So the social media part should be like, but like, especially if it's just like dancing or something fun, unless you have that built or that following already, then you can put your whole dance and stuff on there. But if you're like just trying to gain stuff for them to click to go somewhere else, then that 5 seconds to 15 seconds is good for just attention grabbers.
This millennial has taught us something. Oh my goodness, she taught me something.
Yeah, it's just like the attention grabbers, and then the like from 15 seconds to 30 seconds is more of the informational, because you can't put information within, you know 5 to 10 seconds.
I'm seeing something in this corner, y'all. It's some balloons, okay? So I had a pole party last night at the studio, and it was a birthday pole party. So I still have them tied to the corner of the table. So I see them like in the corner. I'm like, what is that in the corner?
What is that?
Paranormal stuff. Be like, oh my goodness. It'd be like, what? Okay.
What paranormal activity? Who's floating behind us?
Okay. So that is So that is great advice Miss Dirty Diane just gave us. 5 to what? You said 5 to really 15 seconds?
Yeah, like I would say 15 seconds or less if you're just trying to do something where it's attention grabbing, and if you want them to direct you, or if you want to direct them somewhere else, like if you have a website where you're trying to get them to purchase something, or a video that is more informative, because usually whenever people are scrolling, like even now, like I think there's less people scrolling because now there's stories on every app, and more people just like to click on the stories and let that do it themselves, and just run themselves. So like as far as like scrolling wise, like they'll just do, and you have to put whatever the attention grabber is within the first like 3 seconds. So if you're going to start off with like, hey, it's Diane, like they're going to be like, I don't care who you are.
If I wanted to post a video of like one of my dances, or try to promote my studio on TikTok, what do you think I should do within the first 5 seconds?
Yeah, I would say the first 5 seconds is like either the best move of that dance, like the more for them to like go back and be like, ooh, what's that? And then especially if they want to learn it, then they'll continue to watch it, because then they'll have to like kind of slow it down themselves and rewatch it to learn how to do that move. So I would say whatever your best move is that would
Gotcha.
catch them. Mhm.
Man, that is good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Watch me have 500 followers next week on TikTok, baby. I'm gonna work my TikTok, okay?
Mhm.
You got big followers on TikTok?
No, it's because I have a TikTok. I just started doing my dance stuff because I have two different ones. One is my dancing stuff and then my personal stuff one. I haven't done anything on there because I created a TikTok account just to view TikToks because I was working with the marketing research team for a little bit. And then so some of it was I would create TikToks, but I would give it to the clients to post on their sites. So I had to learn what was trending depending on what their products were, because everything's different as well. Because how dance trends work is different from selling a like food product or selling a physical product or different things like that. So you have to see like who your biggest competitor is or who is the top rated business within whatever field you're trying to sell, and then see what's working for them and then kind of replicate that. But then also you have to also know your audience as well, and just because you have to see your followers, what they interact with, what they like, and then you customize that to your target audience, because you may have different followers or different personalities that follow you than a different dance studio and stuff. So because there could be a dance studio where it's more competitive and they're trying to do competitive dancing versus a dance studio where it's just marketed towards like come in and fun, and it's more of like you don't have to worry about coming in and being competitive with this studio because we're just more about you and you letting go and just having your moment, so you don't have to worry about competition. And then a competition one would market towards like we can train you to be a professional dancer and you're going to come here and work hard, so it's different depending on different studios as well. Even though they're both dance studios, it's different clientele you're trying to get.
So if you need a social media guru, if you need to hire somebody for your social media, she does the video. Okay, she's a whole videographer, choreographer, photographer.
I can do consultation. We can look through your website and try to figure out like what your audience is and what traction is gaining the most video ads.
Insights, is that what you go to? The insights?
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah. I've just been going through my insights. I'm like, Noelle, okay, get it together, girl. Get it together, okay?
Because if you know what you're looking for, it has it on there because it has like different ages. It shows you the time frame as like when the people who view your stuff. So then that's how, because you can go by how other people like, because there's people who are great at social media and they'll tell you like these are the time to post, and you can start with that, but then you have to look at your own individual insights and see your own audiences and when their time frame is that they view your things, and then that's when you'll want to post for them.
What's your contact info, baby? Give me your contact info, because baby, you spitting out some knowledge, honey. Okay,
so you can find me.
She's helped me a little bit, okay, but now she's probably gonna start charging me. I'll be like, oh, hold on, what you say now?
Write this down.
Hold on, what you say now? I got my notepad, right?
But it's so I have my Dirty Diane .dancer. That is my burlesque and dancing.
Can we still type it in even on?
No, we're not. So this month I have prior engagements Tuesday evening. So all of the videos that you're seeing in October are pre-recorded. So if you're asking us questions or commenting, that's why we're not responding right away. Is just because we're not live.
I've gone back and looked at it and responded like the day after. So today we were pre-recorded this on a Monday, okay, Monday afternoon, okay. So we'll be back live, and of course we are accepting guests in the studio. So if you want to be a guest, we work around different guests and their topics, right? So also too, if you want to have a commercial on our, we're accepting sponsorships for commercials, right? So I do have I do have a special right now. If you want to run a commercial, and you can come in the studio, we record you on the commercial, or we can do like a voiceover or whatever, because I went to broadcasting school for the whole thing, okay? We can show you a product. We can do anything. She'll do the dang thing. Okay. As far as production on that part. But we are accepting sponsorship donations for that. If you want to run a commercial during our podcast, contact me at 214-783-4117 or Noel, Noel at bodytalkfit.com. That's BODYTALKFIT.com. Okay. And we can get you scheduled for some. So if you have a business, if you have anything going on, we can run a commercial during our podcast. Cool beans.
Yeah. And then also, if you don't want to be on the podcast, but you have ideas for topics that you want to hear us interview people with, just let us know. Just let us know in the comments what topics you want to hear about, and then we'll create content for that.
And originally we scheduled this Body Talk Fit podcast to do like the last 15 minutes of some type of movement, but we've been running over, so we ain't even been able to. What's the green light for now?
What green light are you talking about?
On the thing on the screen.
That tells you. Well, that's even whenever the microphone isn't on. But I think because you normally look down here on that. Yeah, but that just lets you know the mic is working. So that's how that one time whenever the screen froze, I knew it because nothing was moving.
Okay. Oh, she's so good. Y'all see how this Generation X be like, so confused. It's so much technical stuff. Hold on, I usually have my laptop. She got her laptop. We got another camera over here, and then a camera right here. And I'll be like, it's a lot of stuff in cameras around here. I'm gonna just let her do what she do, okay? And then I'm gonna stay behind the scenes and just talk, okay? Yeah. So now I want to get into also too, because we talked about the advantages. Though that's where the advantages come in of social media. But now we have to, and I used to want a girl really bad, y'all. God bless me with 2 boys, and thank God he did. Okay, if I had a girl in this generation, but in this age, I don't know what I would do because it's too much going on. They want to dress in these booty shorts, have these tank tops. I'd be like, oh hell no. And then these girls got bodies like women.
I know. Oh my God,
these 12-year-olds got a whole dang booty, hips, and
let me tell you, I went to one of my niece's elementary graduation. It was fourth grade or something. Why is one of her classmates, she looks more of a woman than I do. I was like, oh, is that one of the teachers? She's like, what are you talking about? That's my friend Clarissa or whatever her name is. I was like, I don't know. I don't know the kid's name, but she was like, that's my friend, blah, blah. And I was like, she looks like it too, because it was graduation day. So, they're dressed up more, and then, they have their makeup and stuff. If your parents let you wear makeup. What? No, she was 8 or something.
And they had on makeup?
But, little lip gloss. But girl, I don't wear makeup,
okay,
right?
So so my mother allowed me to wear a lipstick in the 7th grade and eyeliner. That was the only thing I could wear. And baby, I picked the reddest lipstick like the one I got on right now. I used to get on the bus in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning with red lipstick and my eyeliner down here, baby. I thought I was so grown at that time, honey.
So my mom, she loved putting me dressing me up very girly, putting me in dresses and putting makeup on me, not to school, but when we go to family parties and all this stuff, she would always put makeup, eyeshadow, all this stuff on me. So then I grew up to where I hated makeup. I'll put makeup on.
What age did she started doing that?
This was I want to say I was 5, 6.
Huh?
Whenever we would go to.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we would go to parties and she would and it's just family event parties, but then she'll put lipstick on herself, then she'll put lipstick on me. I was her little doll,
That's
and
cute, though.
Yeah, she would do. But then that's what, whenever I grew up, I was like, I hate this, because when moms put it on, they're holding your so I was like, oh, I hate all that stuff.
Oh my God.
But I put makeup on if I'm going to events or all this stuff now, but on the daily basis, I put lip gloss on.
Yeah, you don't wear makeup. You don't wear makeup.
Yeah, then whenever I became a teenager, that was when, all teenage girls are like that, where you want to wear your booty shorts and you want to wear makeup and all this. But for me, okay, so I was on the drill team, and Texas drill team, you put on that red, Revlon, Maybelline, red lipstick. And my grandfather and dad would flipped out, and they're just they're going to kidnap you.
Oh shit.
Girls who wear red lipstick they get kidnapped and sold into sex slavery and all this stuff. And I was like, this is for school.
Oh no. Speaking of that. So speaking of that, what she just referenced. So now we're going to talk about the disadvantages of social media. Because now it's sex trafficking.
Yeah.
It is, I mean, it's bullying. And those are the two most, I'd say, fears, right? That a parent could probably have with their kid being on social media, right? So you have like Snapchat. And I probably think the two maybe I don't want to name these platforms on this. I don't want to do that.
You can name it. I mean, because
I would say the two platforms that I would, if I had a girl, that I would not want my girl on, like around maybe, because now, I mean, I have clients coming here and they grandbabies or talking to females. That there's 6 and 7 year old girls and 8-year-old girls be on TikTok and Snapchat. And it just bothers me. And I'm like, you know what? God bless me with 2 boys. He knew what to give me. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't see my 8-year-old being on no Snapchat or no dang TikTok. I'm sorry. Not in this day and age, because that is how men are luring, or even women, posing as a friend, to the little girl. I don't know how this shit works, but it's devastating these day and ages, right? Because you've heard of so many people. Okay, so let's say you on TikTok or Snapchat, right? And somebody, how does that work? Because I'm not on Snapchat.
I'm on it, but I
befriend somebody, or you send them a message, right?
Yeah.
Acting like they, you want to act. They have, or they can, fake accounts are created every day, all day long, right?
Yeah.
So you can create a fake account as a child and be like, hey, meet me at the playground, after school, and it's a whole adult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now, hey, this little kid, thinking, hey, they're gonna go meet a buddy, is now sex trafficked or stolen,
Yeah.
And now you got a missing sign for these babies. Okay. So I just think it is imperative and important for us as parents. And I know you're not a parent, or even, watching your 8-year-old when she's on social media, who is she replying to?
Yeah.
Or is she in an inbox with somebody? You know what I'm saying? Imperative and important for us parents, grandparents, because, I'm glad I'm not a grandparent yet, but, it's people my age that's a grandparent, of 6 and 7 year olds. Thank God my kids ain't gave me no kid, babies. But it's very important for us to be cognitive and to look and to actually see what they're doing online. Limit their online activity, actually look to see, because, these little girls love to make TikTok videos. It's cute and all, but some making too grown TikTok videos.
Oh, that's why one of my nieces, I was talking to my cousin and stuff about it, because she was saying, all of a sudden it's her, how old is she? I want to say she's 10 now. One of her daughters, her daughter's 10, but she was like starting to buy all this makeup. No. And then I was like, what do you need makeup for? Like, you have beautiful skin. You're a child. Like, and then she found out she was like making videos, like, because now the kids are, trying to do whatever they see or replicate whatever they see. And they just see like all these beauty trends, stuff like that on TikTok. So they want to kind of recreate the same thing and do like these beauty transitions and stuff like that, because they just think it's cool. They don't think it's anything like that comes out of it negatively. But we're just like, no, you're trying to make yourself look older than what you are. And there's like, yes, you think you're posting it for just your friends or, y'all to enjoy, but you don't know who's looking at you. And we don't want them to see you and you be like some target or, a big red flag because you're trying to be older than what you really are.
Right. And you looking older anyway. I mean, these kids, I don't know, it's the food, the hormones they putting up in all this food, but you looking older anyway. You ain't got to put on makeup to look older. And I think as parents and grandparents or whatever you want to call it, aunties, aunties, even what you call not a nephew, the uncle, even uncles. I mean, men, y'all need to get involved in these women's lives, these little girls' lives. You know, if you're a dad and you got a little girl, hey, no, you ain't getting on social media at 7, 8 years old. Nope. What you need it for?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then they're gonna be mad at you, but let them be mad. You're a parent, not they friend.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big deal too. All these parents want to be friends with these kids. I ain't your friend.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up
So-
letting my kids know we're friends. We are not friends.
And it was so crazy for me. So like I said, I grew up whenever the internet and everything was more public or available to the public. So we're all growing and learning together, right? And my friends and we talk about it all the time where we're just like, we are so like, somebody was watching us up there and protecting us, because I don't know how many times we could have been kidnapped doing what we were doing, because at that time you don't think about it. And it was because one of my uncles, like, he passed away and stuff now, but I think he was watching over me, because he was the one that actually got me, that I talked about before, that got me my computer and Photoshop and all this stuff. So I was learning to manipulate photos, and I was going on these random AOL chat rooms talking to old men that I didn't even know. I didn't realize at that time, because they were telling me, they were telling me they were my age.
So what was you saying? Okay, so what was you saying, and how did you identify them as being older? How did you know they were older?
Well, no, it was because I think my uncle was protecting me because he was always a silent person to begin with. But whenever I would meet, or I was with him or whatever, and I was talking to these guys, and back then, you couldn't just post your photo. You would have to scan your photo into your computer, then email it to them. So I didn't have a scanner and stuff at that time, so I would give my photo to my uncle. And this was when internet stuff was this was when internet stuff was developing, so I would give it to my uncle and be like, hey, can you scan this and then email it to this email address for me, because they want to see my photo. And my uncle would just be like, oh, okay. And never
he
did
ask no questions.
Yeah, well, he knew what was happening, but he just wouldn't do it, but say that he did.
Okay.
So then these guys would email me and just be like, did you send it? And I was like, yeah, let me check. And then I would ask my uncle, like, did you send it? He's like, yeah, I did. And then I would it wasn't like an instant message thing. It was email. So that takes a while back then for things to, like, you have to keep refreshing your email for it to come through. And so these guys would be like, I don't see it, blah, blah. And then I would ask my uncle, and he's like, oh, maybe the file's too large and they can't get it. I guess it's not working. And then I would just, that was when internet was developing. So we were just kind of learning how things work. So I was just like, oh, for some reason my photos aren't uploading. Sorry. So I wasn't able to, like, send my photos to these friends online or whatever until MySpace came.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that was just crazy, where it was like stuff like that. I was like, I don't even know, honestly, how old these guys really were.
Right,
but it wasn't until I was older, and then I looked, because I didn't know what 69 meant back then. And that was like somebody
said 69 to you?
That was their email address, was like,
girl, shut up.
A 69 or blah, blah, something. And I was just
maybe that was the year they was born. That ain't funny, no shit. That ain't funny. If that was the year they were born and they were contacting you, you was probably born in 1980s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1990s.
80s.
Yeah, okay, late 80s, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that wouldn't have been good.
Yeah.
That was your daddy's age.
But that's it. I was just like, after, because I'm someone who, like, saves all my stuff, right? So, like, whenever I got older and started learning things more, I was like going through, and I think I was like deleting old things, and I was like, now with the older mindset, and even then I think I was like maybe in my early 20s. I'm still a child, but I knew better than I did when I was 16. So as I'm like reading all of this stuff or whatever because I think I first got an email, I want to say I was like 13, 14 or something like that. So I'm just like reading all these emails, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like children talking. Because they were asking like more personal things, and I thought I was just answering questions, but then I was just like, no, kids don't talk to each other like I don't think that was a kid talking to me. You know.
So your mother and father, or your family,
Mhm.
or the older adults in your life, they didn't explain to you,
Yeah, because they didn't
so
know.
you didn't know.
Well,
Yeah, because it wasn't. Yeah,
because they didn't even know, because that was when they didn't know I was going to a chat room or what a chat room even was. They just thought I was going online to do school things.
See, I've never done that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because we didn't have a computer at home, so and I wasn't really technical savvy, or still ain't. But
yeah, because even like my cousins, we would chat with each other on AOL Messenger, and then even her dad, because that was when things were developing, and he was like, "Who are you talking to online? You don't know who you're talking to." But at that time, she knew she was talking to me. She was like, "No, that's Diane," and he was like, "No, it's not." And then so he would ask her to ask me some questions about our family, and I would like type it in,
to confirm it.
And then he was like, "Okay," so like he didn't even understand that families could talk to each other. He just thought anyone who talked to you was bad.
Right. Mm-hmm. So go back to say parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties. Okay. Y'all pay attention to what these young, even boys. I mean, even boys are getting trafficked. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to what this younger generation is online and doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just so sad to have another person, missing, have another child missing, and put, seeing it online. Please share. Hey, someone, this child has been missing for 2 days. That shit is sad. You know what I'm saying? But I think we as parents and we as adults should pay more attention to it. You know what I'm saying? I think we can prevent it more if we did pay attention a little bit more, or get more involved in our children's lives. You know what I'm saying? Next up, bullying. And we're going to cut this off. Bullying is at an all-time high with the social media. Okay. Bullying is at an all-time high. You got kids that are killing themselves, that are going into depression, that are suicidal, but not have yet committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? I have a friend girl that I was talking to the other day. She used to work at a funeral home doing death certificates, right? She told me this just like 4 days ago, right? She did death certificates, and she said it was sad that most of the death certificates that she issued were of children. And she said, and she told me about this one child. He was getting bullied at school. She said he was like, if I remember correctly, maybe around the age of 12, right? That's too young. That's too young to be stressed and depressed. When you stressed and you ain't got no bills. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what kind of, baby, you living a good life. You should be living a good life. A child at 12 should be living a good life. We as parents, we should be making sure our kids are living a good life at that age. You know what I'm saying? So she was telling me about how this guy, he was a musician, right? She said he was so cute little boy, It doesn't matter if he was cute or not cute, but whatever. Cute little boy that was a musician and was getting bullied because he was a musician and he had skills. She said he had jumped off a roof and committed suicide because he was getting bullied online. I'm like, that's crazy. It's sad. It's sad and crazy. You hear so many kids that are getting bullied, and hey, we got to pay attention to that. I get on my son, and I used to get on my son all the time. He'd be on that the video games. Okay, be on them video games saying some stuff that I don't like him saying. I go in his room, shut that down, shut that shit off. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was bullying to me. But even these kids are like, he was like, man, you suck, or something like that. That's how they talk to each other nowadays. But you don't know how another kid may take that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, we ain't doing this. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing it, and you ain't letting nobody do it to you. I don't like that. I don't like when I hear kids talking to other kids. Hold on, if you ain't my kid and I didn't hear you and I'm out, I ain't lying. If I'm out in the grocery store and I done heard a kid say something to something, I look at that little kid, look at his mom. I be like, little boy, little girl. I know their parent be like, you need to mind your business. But look, you ain't being a parent. You know what I'm saying? So we got to pay more attention. It's too many kids that are getting bullied and going into a deep depression. Taking they'll go into their parents' cabinet, and y'all parents be having too many damn medications up in that cabinet. Okay, stop having all that shit up in that cabinet. Okay, hide that shit from them kids. I'm getting very emotional right now because kids and being a parent. So if you have like medications around the house and you know your child is not in a mental space, take that out of the cabinet. Okay. These pain pills, whatever y'all have, and all medication for anxiety or whatever. I mean, kids can OD on all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So just don't let them have access to it, because hey, the first thing they do probably like, okay, if there's a gun around the house, and then if there's pills, they probably gonna try to take the pills to I don't know, but yeah. So we've talked about the advantages of it. So what do you feel about that? Have you experienced your nieces and nephews or anybody that get bullied on social media?
I would say, okay, so for myself, and it's like so crazy now, right? But I was like, even whenever I was a teenager, I mean, there's bullying outside.
Did you ever get bullied though?
Yeah. But yeah, it was like bullying outside of social media to begin with. But then there's now more attacks, because at least whenever I was getting bullied, it was like people I knew from like school or whatever, like writing on my stuff or, blah, blah, that didn't like me. And then my thing was just, okay, I can avoid them. I can block them. But then now I feel like not only are the people that probably don't like you in real life, but now just people bullying for no reason online. You have strangers just saying stuff just because there's people out there that just
like I'll post a video
like just for no reason.
Yeah, man, people are bullied. I mean, I said, and then I have to say something. I shouldn't be saying, girl, get the out of my page.
Yeah, because like now it's just like that's how some people enjoy their free time is just to go online and just troll people or just say like mean things for no reason.
Mean things for no reason.
Yeah.
And it's a form of bullying.
Yeah.
It is a form of bullying, and people don't realize that.
But I was like, so I can't imagine like, because it was like, it's hard being a teenager because you're trying to
and
identify.
If you don't have thick skin.
Yeah.
If you don't have thick skin.
Yeah. And you're trying to like figure out your own self. Right. But then back then and then versus now, where you're still trying to figure out who you are, but then you have a whole bunch of strangers online telling you who you are, or if you can or cannot exceed, like, you're trying to develop yourself, or like, if you are a musician and you're trying to post your things or whatever, and you're proud of it, then you have people just knocking you down, and that you could have like 10,000 people telling you how amazing you are, but then you have like one or two that keeps knocking you down, then you start questioning yourself.
And if you're a child, if you're a younger adult or younger child and you getting bullied, y'all got to ignore that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's stuff that get posted on all of my posts sometimes, or when I post a video, these bullies and, people that are not as secure in themselves will come on my videos and say some stuff. But if I didn't have thick skin, I would let that shit bother me. Right. Yeah. Sometimes I'll if I've had some liquid courage, okay, I'm gonna come back and be like, girl, get the F off my page. You know what I'm saying? With that BS, because people do that because one, they insecure. They want to make you feel bad because they insecure. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't got nothing to do, or maybe they are that cyber bully. It's a lot of cyber bullies out there. So you were talking about getting bullied in school. I was bullied in school all the time, and thank God, ain't no telling, as a little kid, where my mental would have been if social media was around back then. I would get bullied all the time. Have little girls, girls, grab at my hair, because I'm a mix, you know what I'm saying? So they would grab at my hair and pull my hair and just say mean stuff, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this one girl, I just want to punch her in the face. I'm telling you, every time I saw her, and I'm glad she moved. Her parents moved her. I was like, oh Lord, I would go in the bathroom, y'all. This is in my book. I ain't even lying. I'm telling you this story. I'm telling you a little piece that's in my book. I would go in the bathroom and do like this, right in the air, because I was ready to fight this little girl. She would bully me all the time and just pull my hair and just say mean stuff, And I was like, I told the teacher wouldn't do nothing. So if you're a teacher, pay attention to these kids. If they come to you and tell you, hey, they're getting bullied, report that. That. It's too many kids that are dying. It's too many kids that are depressed and stressed and going through life, that shouldn't be going through what they're going through, Like I said, it's very emotional for me. So I know I'm it's just sad.
It is.
It's sad, and maybe it's, I don't know. I would think, hey, is it the less fortunate you think that's doing most of the bullying? What do you think?
I just think I feel like the people who are, they're just not happy within themselves. And that's how,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Maybe they're experiencing it at home. Maybe the parents are fighting all the time. And now these kids are so unhappy. They're coming to school and that's what, hey, they see at home. So maybe that's what they're doing at school.
or maybe their parents are the bullies, you know?
Or maybe their parents are the bullies.
There's parents that are like that, who like are bullying their kids. So then they take it out on other kids that seem happy or, you know, have more freedom or, you know, more support from their parents or whatever. And then they're just bullying you because
I think it starts in the home. I think it starts with, you know, us adults. Even though, hey, you know, I'm a parent. Maybe your grandparents are raising you, you know. Your grandparents or aunties, aunties or uncles are raising them, you know, or maybe they're in a foster care, maybe they're in a foster home, and I think those are less fortunate. The I'm not gonna say less fortunate, but I think, of course, those are the ones that's going through more mental challenges, right? Than others, right? I would think, right? Even though, you know, y'all know I'm adopted. I don't know if a lot of y'all know I'm adopted, but. I am adopted. I was only in foster care 6 months. So I was fortunate enough to be able to, I was fortunate enough to get adopted into a loving family, right? But just think, if I would have gone through foster care my whole life, I can't imagine. And I do want to start with working with foster children. Maybe that's a different topic too, okay? Okay, let me write this down. Hold on, what we say? Foster children. Hold on. What was the other topic we said? Y'all know I got to write stuff down. This is the difference between Generation X and Millennial. We write stuff down, okay?
I was like, those are the only two.
No, astrology. Okay, so I already wrote that down because I knew I was going to forget astrology and foster care. So today we talked about the impact of social media, right? The advantages and disadvantages. So we started with the with the positive in the beginning, right? Talking about the advantages of social media and how we can use that.
You can use it for your business marketing. You can use it to learn things now. Like there's so many accessible things now where you can teach yourself just watching things from social media, or, you know, there's so many celebrities like cooking and stuff. There's so many things that people are putting out there now that is more easily accessible.
Happy moments. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Happy moments. So and all that.
Those are great things about social media, or just easily posting like for your families and stuff, like people keeping up. It's like easy for you guys to keep in touch with each other without, like, if you can't make that phone call or whatever, you kind of keep up with social media, or just if you're not in the mental state to talk, but you just send them a reel that reminds, you know, you of them, kind of thing, you know, things like that. But then, of course, there's with everything, there's a good and a bad.
And then we talked about the bad, which was bullying and sex trafficking. And just, you know, at what age should we allow our children to get on social media, and what platforms, and how we monitor them, and do we even pay attention to what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, parents, we live, you know, busy lives too, but we still need to pay attention to what our children are doing, you know? Coming from a parent. Okay, coming from a parent. And coming from an auntie. Coming from an auntie. Yeah. She got 7, 8 year old, you know.
And then sometimes I feel like, as an aunt or uncle or, you know, cousin and stuff like that, sometimes we also have to be that. Because, you know, kids always feel like their parents, when parents say that, they feel like their parents are just getting on to them or don't want them to have any fun. But then they see like the aunt or the uncle as the fun one that, you know, sometimes they'll talk to you more about things that they may not feel comfortable talking to their parent because they feel like they're going to get in trouble.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah. So it's our responsibility too to say it in a different way. Give them the same message that the parent is giving them, but in a different tone.
So also too, being a parent or a grandparent, if you feel like your child cannot come talk to you, have them go talk to a counselor, have them talk to a cousin, an auntie, an uncle, or somebody. A counselor at school, you know, if they need to go see a therapist, take them to a therapist. It's nothing is wrong with a child seeing a therapist. I wish I would have started seeing a therapist at a young age. Maybe I would have been better with my mental. you know what I'm saying, being adopted.
And that is something that's good about like social media, things like that, for like more of an education, more of feeling like maybe the people that you know in real life, maybe you don't relate with them, but then there's stuff with social media that is good for like, because I feel like back then it was kind of taboo to talk about your mental health, and now there's all this like encouragement. There's all this encouragement now about like going to see a therapist, that there's no stigma behind it. Like if you need help, like even if you don't need like quote unquote help, for just like to just talk to somebody that like so that you don't feel judged by the people that you know, just to talk it out, like your inner thoughts, you know, that you talk to yourself within your head, just to talk it out to someone else that doesn't know you on a personal level. If you're afraid that, you know, there may be judgment, or that your friends may take it a different way, because there's no, I would say they're not part of your personal life or anything. And what you say is just between you and them. And they just kind of, they're a soundboard for you.
Soundboard. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good one. A soundboard. Yeah. You gave some great advice today.
Thank you.
We need to put you in front of the camera more often. She's like, oh no, I'm in the corner. I'm gonna set up the lights. I'm in the corner. Yeah. We need to put you in front of the camera more often. I'm gonna be the co-host. Well, you know, one day we gonna switch roles. Hold on. What Usher say? We switching roles today, baby. Okay. You taking me out on a date? Oh, this was a great topic. Of course, we had to switch at the last minute. We had to make what?
We had to pivot. We had to make a shift.
We had to pivot and make a shift because we had a guest come in studio that at the last minute had to cancel because of an emergency. We had a whole different topic. I had my questions ready. Baby, I was ready for that podcast. But then we was like, oh, what So this was a great topic, social media and the life of the impact of social media and what it has on, and the differences of generations, how you were raised, how I was raised, and then what goes on now, you know, with social media and these young children growing up. So it was a great topic. I thank you for helping me pick this topic and stick it with me, even though my anxiety was going through the roof at the time. I promise you, I was like, oh, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Hold on. Let me put on my hat. She over there looking at me like, oh shit.
Because I was over here just like,
she was cool and calm.
That's me.
She was cool and calm.
I was like, what about this? What about that? And she's like, hold on, I have to mentally prepare. And I was like, what about this? We can just talk.
We can just talk.
We can just turn on the camera and talk, just like this. I mean, that's what a podcast is, right? We just pick a topic and go from there.
Baby, I gotta be prepared sometimes because my mental, I'll be like shifting. Because then I said, oh, shoot, the green light. Hold on, I'm talking about 3 different things, okay? My ADHD be like, oh, Lord, or is it ADD? I don't know. One of them. I be like, oh, and then I be like, oh, you see this thing on my face?
You're like, what's that shadow floating around?
Man, you have to be special to deal with me, okay? I know I'm special, but you got to be a special person to deal with me, and I thank you for dealing with me all the time. Real talk, okay? She's one of the best, okay? We are out. Catch us next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to have a different guest. Well, we're going to have a guest, and then we're going to have a different topic. Each Tuesday, did I say Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Each week, different topic, okay? If you have any suggestions, reply under this and say, hey, why don't y'all talk about this? Why don't y'all do this, okay? We are open to suggestions. Yeah, we are, so...
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. We out. We out. We out. We out. We out. We out. Peace.
Bye.